Main event mama's bringing the heat. Talking life, love.
Hi, I'm Tanesha.
And I'm Kiara.
And you're now entering the sister chat. Welcome to Main Event Mamas.
Yes, welcome back. I mean, it's been a minute since we were supposed to be back. I mean, I know we came back a couple times, but like legit, like we're back this time. Season 2 in full effect. I always wanted to say that.
Wow, this is season 2.
It is season 2, yeah.
Oh my goodness. I don't know.
I didn't forget about that season 1 soundtrack. I'm still working through a few logistics about how to get it to y'all, but you know, it'll be back with season 2 soon. But yeah, that soundtrack coming. And I guess, you know, we got a lot to talk about today, as usual.
We do. Oh
we had some experiences during the break.
Yes.
It's the new year, 2026.
Mm-hmm.
And
kids are seniors.
Dear Jesus.
Both on 2 different trajectories.
Trajectories? Trajectories. Yeah, they are.
Yes.
And, you know, it's okay. Everybody have different opportunities and choices. The girl child almost got murdered today by me because she left her coat in the house and then proceeded. It's a long story. Don't even.
But you know what? It's not even that, because all kids think that they don't need to wear their coats. So like, oh, look, it's a little bit of warmth.
Yeah, but let you, and I'm going to have to stop everything. That's not cool. Anyway, before we get into that, this is a reminder to subscribe. Like, if you have reached this point in the video and you want to hear where we're about to go, because, you know, this is our first live episode back.
Is that live?
Life episode back.
Oh my goodness. I was like,
life.
My bad.
Adulting, parenting, life episode back in 2026. Then this is your moment. You want to hit that subscribe button on any platform that you're currently listening or watching us on, whether that's YouTube or Apple Podcasts or Spotify or the other ones I can't remember. Pocket Podcasts, Audible, YouTube, music, you know. Yeah, this will be fun at the end when she got to recite this because she looked hella confused. And with that, let's get started.
I said, wait, what's happening? What? Oh,
yep.
okay.
She was like, what? Mm-hmm. Oh, let's get started on the episode. So how was your break? Did you get some rest during this quote unquote rest time? Or was it just parenting in a different zip code? I mean, I like this one.
What rest? Where was I supposed? There's no rest for the weary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I'm weary, but I'm just saying, like, what rest? It was chaotic.
Wasn't it, though?
Because their structure of the day has been jolted.
Yes. This is why I'm for year-round school. I want to tell you that. This is why I'm for year-round school. And I find it very unfair that by the time I move to a location that has year-round school, it doesn't apply for teenagers.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I appreciated spending time with them and, you know, working because everybody was spending money at that time. So, you know, I was getting money. That was great. But at some point, there's a limit that you can handle a whole day of just chaos, especially when your middle child is the one who likes to cause most of the chaos.
And that's wow.
Just because he can. And then he looks at you with a smile like, I don't know what you're talking about. Who did that? I don't know. Like yesterday he smelled. And I was like, whoa, dude. He was like, what? Who was that? It wasn't me. I didn't do anything. And he ran out. And I was like,
being stinky? I mean, he did do something. He was stink. That's crazy.
Yeah. I was like, I said, shower immediately. He goes, but it wasn't me. I didn't do it. I'm like, so that was the chaos that I dealt with most of the 2 weeks. 2 full weeks that they were off. 2. Yeah.
Yeah, and you were recovering from being sick. Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you. So, yeah. How was yours? You have 2 less children than me.
Yes, and it was fine. I mean, you know, they're also independent for the most part, so they leave me alone, which is great. I got a lot of reading done. I got a job now. That's different. So that's exciting. Definitely needed one so badly. So shout out to the Lord for that one. Really appreciated it. But yeah, now we're back to being at 0 again, which is a very confusing situation if you were to ask me. Like, what did I spend this money on except trying to survive? I don't, I did do Christmas, but it wasn't a particularly expensive Christmas. So I'm like, listen, we need bigger budgets in life. That's what I feel. I feel like things need to cost less right now, because right now I feel like that's what's eating up the budgets. But the other half of my vacation,
crazy. Yeah.
insanity, really. Like, I was like, stop, get out of my pockets.
Just to get some bread, milk, eggs. It cost me like $20-some. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Wish I had a little support on that, but here we are. Going broke for eggs and bread. But if you're listening to this, and you're probably also going broke from that. So that's not even the topic today. Nope. So on the other part of my vacation was helping my senior with his applications. And like, here in North Carolina, they have this common application, which is kind of cool because you fill out a ton of applications by doing this one form. However, it is very invasive. So similar to the FAFSA in that, like, obviously our information as a family has to go in there. His information has to go in there. Then he has to know which particular colleges he wants to apply to. And he thought we had got through all that. And then we got to the essay part. Now, this is where we're going to spend the time today. Is on this essay situation, because it was a lot. I mean, I was sitting there. I remember I was reminding him like a good mom, because I was like, listen, I really want you out of my house come fall. So I don't want you sitting here like, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what the deadlines are. Kids these days, they have no sense of like urgency for that. And I think, I don't know what that is, because I felt like I had my deadlines down. My mom didn't tell me nothing.
Well,
I knew everything.
It was a different time back then.
That's true.
We wanted to leave.
I know. We keep saying this. This is the failure of being the kind of parent your kids want to be around. Is they're like, I could stay here forever. And I'm like, about that. Like, no. We would like to be naked people again. Like, we would like to be grown folks. And we can't do that with you guys here. That's why, you are the age you are, so that you can go. Right. While we still look good like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't...
Not while we still look good. You're going to always look good. You're going to just keep working it out. I'm just saying.
You know what I'm saying? We are. But you know what I'm saying? Just... we're working on it. But at the end of the day,
but you'll be there by that time. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. But he got to go for that to be possible. And that's not to say nothing. We got his sister too. Yeah, so that's another.
It's not like you are about to do that the moment he leaves. You still got one more.
I mean, if he just started working with grandma, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I don't think that
we might need a party. Okay, regardless. But these deadlines, it got to a situation where I kept reminding him about these deadlines. And I'm like, do you remember? And he goes, yeah, speaking of which, today is a reminder that I need to go. I think the deadline's tomorrow. So he better have had his teacher do the thing. Because he needs, that's the other part of the application. So it was the essay, and then he needed the recommendation from his teacher. And I was like, you need to build in time for that, so because there is no late registration for the school that you want to go to. Like, this is the late registration. So you need to like be prepared, which is the other. Yeah, I forgot that right now, because again, it's not my job.
To me right now while you're talking, like,
are you okay? This is at 28 hours up. Like, I was trying to tell you, your body's on one. I keep trying to tell you, if you're out there, you must take proper rest. You must sleep. You must hydrate. You must eat. Or you're going to be burning both ends at the...
I'm here. You keep talking. I'm just going to put myself on mute so I can just blow my nose, because this is a little crazy. I don't know what's going on.
I know what's going on, and I'm going to tell the people while you go ahead and get that situated. What is going on is, like I said, you must take proper rest. This is one of the lessons we've been trying to have at this time, is that you need to relax. You need to make sure you're getting proper sleep, make sure you're eating, you make sure you're hydrating, so that your body is ready to tackle the insanity of our days. If you are moms like us, or just humans alive trying to make it, then like, it's hard to try to get in there and get all your things done. So take your vitamins, say your prayers, and get some sleep. Sleep is most important, which is why I'm currently saying this, because she didn't, which is why I'm really leaning in on the sleep aspect while we sit here and watch her marinate. Are you doing well yet? Are you ready to come back? No? Looks like we're still... Yeah. Okay, cool. And with that...
First off, I would like to say I did get 4 hours of sleep. I just didn't get 8. Anyway,
Did you say 4?
I did.
Listen, I am
I
evil
did.
with
I
4
said 8
hours of
hours
sleep.
sleep. I
Yeah,
said 8
no,
hours.
I'm evil. Mm-mm.
Oh, well,
4 hours of sleep, you best her get away
that is
from me until I get at least 2.
ridiculous.
You know why? Because your system is running on an inflamed state. We're going to get a doctor join us one of these days because I promise you, I didn't get that out of nowhere. When you sleep like that, you
Yeah,
put your body in a cortisone kind of like heated, like fight or flight, like situation. And so you don't get proper rest. And so your system is working at overdrive. I'm going to go ahead and give you some resources while y'all at home thinking I'm making this up. I'm not. Anyhow, back to the college situation.
Yes. So he was supposed to get a teacher's recommendation, and that is due today, or that was due yesterday.
The application to the school, the deadline for the school application is mañana or tomorrow. So today I'm about to pause for a minute and go call him and make sure he does that. So hold. Now you can hang out with them for a moment while I call the child.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So while she's doing that, I'll tell you guys about me and my senior, who may or may not. No, he is a senior, but there's a lot of things happening there where I feel like they're pushing him out, but we're going to talk more about it later. But he has to take additional classes that I just found out last week. He could have been doing this during the whole vacation. You know, remember back then when we used to have winter break packets that we had homework to do during the winter break? They could have did that. They could have told me before, they could have called me before winter break to tell me that he had these classes and they were due tomorrow. No, they called me a week and then tell me, oh, if he really focuses, he can get all 3 of these classes done online. Have they met my child? I'm just saying, that's just crazy. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand why they would think that is acceptable. And we're going to talk about that too. Why do they give high schoolers all this responsibility as if they're an adult, but then call you to remind you that your child is not doing what they're asking? Well, stop giving them all this responsibility like they're an adult. Like, do the same thing. Yes, they should be held accountable. But to think my child can do 3 classes in a week to make sure he graduates on time is crazy work. And then to inform me a week prior, it's even more crazy. I don't understand. Was I doing good? I think I was doing good.
I think you did great. No, the problem was I had to remind my child that I was like, this was an urgent task on Monday and Tuesday. It is now Wednesday. So
did he do it?
He said the person wasn't in. And I said, this is why we don't do one person.
Yes,
we do
multiple
because you need someone to do it. And you're tick on the time. And I don't know what that looks like for you. Like, you're an excellent candidate, but not being able to take care of time, deadlines, that's a slight problem. That could put you in a big,
especially in the field he wants to go into.
Also, you're not about to sit at my house and do nothing. You know how that works. Looks like you'd be out here working at Dunkin' Donuts or something. I don't know. Anyhow.
Anyway.
This is part of the process, I feel like, is that, like, as a parent, it's very stressful to, like, go into this push of, like, are you done with all your applications and all your things and all your that? Because I remember this time in my life, and I remember very much being, like, on top of it because I didn't want to have to stay home another year. And so I was. Why you look like that?
See, I don't remember doing this. No, I didn't. I mean, I guess this is also the difference between trying to go to a 4-year college or university versus going to community college, because I didn't have to write no essays.
Granted,
when I got older, I did have doctors. I had at least 2 doctors that I work with write me recommendations to try to get into the vet tech program, just to add the extra pot. They didn't ask for it, but I was like, here you go. This is going to be part of my application. Here you go.
See, that was
so
smart.
They can understand that
it's a passion, right?
You know, You didn't ask for it,
Smart.
but I got it for you. Here you go. And to even read their recommendations, I was like, I didn't expect y'all to do all of that. Y'all said all that about me, Mom. Anyway,
Yeah. Mine were
I
like
had
that
multiple
too.
people do it.
They were like, she is da 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 da. I was like, ooh, could you have told me? That's why you got to give people their flowers, because you don't hear these things as you're like going through things. Like my husband was like, we don't want to give you the big head. And I was like, I don't think that's the problem. I think sometimes it's really important to give you your flowers as you're on the come up because you may not notice these things about yourself. So I think it's a good idea to do that. But I want to talk a little bit about this Common app because
Speaking of,
what?
okay. Well, can I
Speaking
say
of
this
what?
one little thing? Speaking of giving someone flowers, have you seen how chocolate drop she is? Thanks. Okay.
My sister, who I love, who is always beautiful. So she has to stop doing this to me and put me on the spot. Anyhow, we're going to call her like Caramel. I'm working on it. I know, but I'm thinking like Caramel. Mocha. I'm still working on it. I'll workshop some names and come back to you. Salted caramel. You want to be macchiato?
Yes. Oh, I like that.
You want to be macchiato?
So spicy.
Why are you like this? Anyhow,
okay. This Common app.
Let's talk about this Common application.
Tell me about
so
it.
As I was helping him do
I don't
this,
know nothing about it.
Yeah. Let me tell you. I'll break it all down for you. So he comes in here and he goes, "Hey, need your help with something." And I'm like, "Well, I was playing The Sims, so I was trying not to do any thinking." But he came in here and he showed me his laptop, and then we sat down. And I'm like explaining how to fill these things out. He's like, "What does this mean? What does that mean?" And I was like, I was talking about Sims, and now I'm sitting here pausing and trying to figure out your life story and your aspirations for the future. And so I sit here and I'm like, okay, I'm helping him fill it out. And we get to this good place, and then they start asking about the family dynamic and all, like how many people live in your house, the plans for all your kids. Wait till you see some of these. Like, I think I'm making this up. They're like, how many of your kids will be in school in the 2026, 2027 school year? I don't know. Like,
we don't know the trajectory of her right now. Thank you.
Hard to say. I have prayers, but I don't know like what we're gonna go here. And it felt really just kind of like arresting when you think about this, because I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't have the answer for what could be happening in the future. And so I'm trying to help him do this, and we are laughing together out of just sheer discomfort. Like, how much money do we make? Well, at the time, Mom had no job, so hold that thought. A lot less than you think. Didn't necessarily want to tell him that, but here I am filling out the application with him. There are some benefits to it, though. You do get to get like.
But this is when your kids start
funding
on your business, and you'd be like, you weren't supposed to know that.
Yes, I mean, does Dad have other kids? Like, do you have like?
Is that what they ask?
Yeah, they want to know how many siblings live in your house. They have specific questions for each parent. Like, it was crazy work.
Funny trying to. In our age, trying to answer. Yep, he does. He got like 5, 6.
Which, I mean, like, that's crazy. I don't think I did that. I think when I was filling my application, I only filled it out for my mom. And I didn't have a common application. So it wasn't as like.
I remember.
I had to do my best guess.
I had to add that to my family.
Me too, but I had to do best guesses. I don't know how many kids you got out there. That's a good question. That's between you and, 24 and me. I don't.
To ask if your father has other kids besides you.
Yeah. Is there anybody else you support in the house? I mean, these are questions they ask, like, like when you're doing Medicaid and stuff like that to see how much aid you can get. And then there was the financial aid aspect, like who will be paying for your college? And I'm like, it better be you, because based on this new amount of money that we have going on now, it's not looking good for any of us. But it was really arresting and kind of stressful. And my poor kid was just like, this is a lot, but I wanted him to fill in as much as he could, because I'm like, this is about taking responsibility. And so I wanted to kind of be the calm in the storm of asking all this information, because this is new to them, right? Like, I got to fill out all this information. And then we get to the essay. Now, I don't know why he thought there wasn't going to be no essay, because, you did the common application, but there definitely is an essay portion. And the essay portion is strangely only 650 words, which I was like, I remember ours being like 800 or something. Like, I felt like mine was longer, but it also could have been because I did the applications directly to the school. So maybe there was like a specific ones for each school. but it was like 650 words. And then they give you these 3 prompts of like what type of essays you want to write. Now you have your traditional, why do you want to go to college type essays? Why do you want to be a success? Your greatest inspiration type of essays. And then they have this interesting prompt that I was like, of course he picks this one, which is like, what is the one thing that you can get lost in?
Oh, but that's a good one though.
And yeah, it was, I mean, what's the one thing you can get lost in? And like, why, essentially, something like that. And I'm like, and you have to describe that in your essay. So the thing that you can get lost in for hours, why, and like you want to explore that topic. So of course my wonderfully artistic creative child picks that one, you know. And I was like, okay, now this is where you run into like the generational changes.
Okay.
We stopped there and I said, okay, you need to write this essay. And I move on. And he comes back to me like 2 hours later and he hands me his laptop and he wrote it in the little square box. And I was like, I love you, but like, no. I was like, take it out of the square box because it needs to be a separate thing. But this generation has done so much on the computer. Bless you.
Excuse me.
They've done so much on the computer that they don't know, like...
They don't know what we did because they don't teach them to write on paper anymore.
Right, but you also don't assume that it's a separate entry, which it kind of is, though, right? Like, it's part of your application. I'm sure it's part of the form that you have and that you submit to schools, but it should still be written as a separate thing. So then I take it out. I was like, get it out the box and send it to me. Now, this is where I'm sure he felt some kind of way about having a mom, and I like me, because I was like, I was a journalism major. Like, I make my living writing and reading and telling stories and drafting stuff. And so he's like, can you help me? And I look at him and I was like, sure. Which I'm excited he asked, but I immediately thought, God, he's going to be nervous trying to show me this. And so I wanted to like give him a sense of encouragement. But I ain't going to lie, that first draft, I did not like it.
He was just writing just to get it done.
Yes, which I told him, this is not how you do those essays. These essays have to mean something to you. It's not about being vague. It's about being specific and being really excited about like what you're doing so that you can convey that passion. So if you're out there writing these things or your kids are, this is the lesson. It has to mean something to you. You can't just be like, yeah, I can get lost reading a book. Yep, that's basically it. I was like, that's not 650 words worth of a essay, you know. But he writes this excellent essay eventually. But first, we just had to get there. That was the thing. We just had to get there at first. And so he gave me the first draft. I edited it. I sent it back to him. It took him about a good week to come back to me with the new version. And by the time we finished, it was very good. It was very, very good.
Because that means he gave it more thought.
Yes. But also, like, what are you teaching these kids is what I thought at school. I was like, my first lesson was do not do it like this. But it really challenged him.
To like,
It challenged him because it's, you know, it's not like the prompts they used to give you in school and the tests they give you, right? And then we had to go look back at all his like grades and stuff. So I had to go look back at all his AP test scores, which I found out he's an exceptional test taker, Mr. 6 classes that he doesn't have to take in college. But all those things didn't exist when we were growing up. I was like, I never even looked to find out if I passed my AP exams. I had no idea. And still to this day, no clue. And I was like, how do I find out? I wonder. But it was a long time ago. I don't think you can. And just so you know, if any of you out there, if you...
It should be in your transcripts, shouldn't it?
I think it's on the College Board. Remember, those were from, like, College Board. They weren't necessarily from your school. So I have no idea. So I reached...
But it still should be on your high school transcript because you took those classes in school.
Yeah, she took the classes, but what you received on the test may not be there, from my understanding.
Oh.
Not that I don't remember. I'll check, but I don't think so. I don't think it was there. And because you took the classes and that's representative of the school, but the tests were scored by College Board. So No idea.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway, I was curious, and in case you're out there, you want to know, I reached out to College Board, but if you graduated or did these tests before 2005, your scores are not available.
Oh,
You're welcome to
so
try
they
it
weren't
again,
saving it.
essentially.
They did not. They did not save it.
No, in fact, they did not. So that was a lesson I learned.
Oh.
But anyway, so I want to talk about some of these questions here. Because we're also in, like, technically while we're in the second semester in school, they're wrapping up their finals this week and next week. So we technically are at the end of first semester and into second semester. So I'd love to ask you, because you mentioned that your son's on a different trajectory, how stressed is your house about this, like, second semester, particularly for him?
Well, like I was saying, before, was it's stressful in a way that they are now like pushing him to take these classes that he missed so he can stay
Okay.
on the path to graduate this year. And for him, it feels like it got thrown out of him at left field. Now, granted, not saying this wasn't talked about before we kind of had this conversation, but I assumed it didn't happen yet because he didn't tell me nothing about any uh paperwork logins or anything of that nature.
Oh.
All we did was see it on his schedule that he needed to be there after school on certain days for these classes. It wasn't like, hey mom, here's a follow-up from our conversation. I handed him all the things and the class work needs to be done by this set time. I didn't find nothing about this until last week.
That's crazy.
So now speaking with him about it is like, oh, this is moving too fast. They're trying to get me to do way too much, and I'm just trying to manage the classes I have right now. To the point where my son was like, I'm okay not graduating until next year because I feel like I don't want to be rushed. So for me as a parent, it's one of those like, well, do you honor your son's wishes? Or do you, because you know he struggles, help them push him out in essence so he can have a break and a pause? Because he does want to go to college, but he told me he wants a pause, like at least a year in between high school and college. And I understand that because I kind of regret, if y'all listen back to our episode last year, I kind of regret going straight into college right after high school because it just felt like it was what you do. You leave high school and then you go straight to college. I wasn't ready to go straight to college. I used that as freedom. That was not what it was supposed to be for. So for me,
I mean, it
it
was
is very
freedom for me
stressful
too,
because
though.
the deadline is, I know, but it was freedom for you in a different way. For me, I think,
Yes,
like, I like to learn. I like to learn, but not necessarily I like school.
that's fair. Some people don't. I love it. I could be there all day, every day. I don't know. Okay, I'm telling
I
lies.
mean,
I
I
can't be there
prefer
all day,
school.
every day.
Oh, I about to say, girl, what are you talking about?
No, I
Please.
can't.
I mean, yes, you
Mm,
like to, but you're someone who likes to just get it done. Okay, are we done? Let's go. Let's keep moving. If I can't keep going, then why are we stopping? What's going on?
right.
Me, so I guess he kind of inherited it from me as I'm saying he's talking this out loud. That is like, why y'all stressing me out? But like I said, for them to wait a week to didn't tell me,
Yeah.
oh, hey, by the way, he has 3 courses. And then they go, no, actually, he has 4 courses that he needs to
Oh,
complete.
not
But
four.
because we can't technically give him the 4, we will give him the extra credit for the other 3 classes for him to graduate this year. And I think it's also foreign for some people when they're like, you don't care if he graduates this year? No, because I'd rather him understand the work and understand what he's doing than being rushed through, don't know nothing, get a high school diploma, and he's still like, and then you want him to go to college so he can struggle more? That doesn't make any sense. I'd rather him understand the concepts and grasp it and then feel confident going, I can go to school. Because let's say, if we do these certain things, I'm like, may only have 1 class that you gotta take. And then you can still work and you can still do everything else and be done. So I think for me, I think this is what the difference is because it's just like, how do you manage your teenager who has learning disabilities and trying to honor what he's saying, but also kind of like, I'm your mom. I need you to kind of like push a little harder because I do want your expectations to be up here versus being, oh, I'm okay coasting right here. No, I want you to push yourself, but I also don't want you to push yourself too much where you're just like dreading it. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah. I mean, I will say my son he was very stressed first semester. It has been a little stressed knowing like he had to go back and do his finals. Um, I mean, if I had to rank his stress, I would say he probably was at a 7, 8. He was not feeling it.
Which is normally not like him.
No, he's a very chill kid. He's very chill. He's not going to be like stressed about anything. He does not handle stress well. So if you stress him out, he's not talking to you. It's like I'm not dealing with you. But I think this opens up the avenue about like getting realistic. So I had to get realistic with him about like the things that you're choosing. So like I did choose a lot of his classes for the first semester and I did push him. Like I put him in calculus and I put him in like some of these classes. I'm sure he's like, what the F my mother's up to? But I did it on purpose because that kid is just so smart that I didn't want him to take like, like he was already on that trajectory to get to calculus, and knowing that he's interested in computer science, like that makes perfect sense. Like when I was doing the common application and looking at the schools he wants to go to and looking at how applicants tend to rank up to go to those schools, that was one of the things I had to pay attention to is like, what classes did they take to get there? And I think a lot of parents, we don't think about that. We're like, what? Like, but there's specific classes you have to take to make you a more attractive candidate, like similarly, like when we look for jobs and there's certain accreditations that make you be like, oh, I like this person for this, or things that you might see on their resume that make them a check for you for someone to move on to the interview process. But it's very similarly in school. And I think it's just different in a cultural sense, because I remember going in Georgia and the area that we were in was very affluent. Everybody was going to college. Everybody was headed that way. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. And so we as parents knew what trajectory our kids were going to go on from the time they got into the school until the time that they were going to finish. And even when we moved to North Carolina, I made sure that was consistent, that his classes continued. Now, did I see that it stressed him out? Yes. Did I feel awful? I ain't gonna lie. I felt a little bad, especially when he was at that table for like 6 hours, 7, 8 hours doing homework, and I'm going to bed. Like, I felt really bad. But at the same time, I know his aptitude, right? And I know that if he's bored, he's checking out. So I had to keep reinforcing to him, like, listen, I understand this sucks, but second semester, I intentionally tried to make sure, like, it was more, like it's your last, you could sail through the last semester of high school. You don't have to push yourself too hard. You're still going to have fun. You're still going to be learning stuff, but it won't be this rigorous program where you're like losing your mind for the reason that you're talking about. Because I do want him to go to college in the fall, but want to make sure that he is not feeling overwhelmed because you didn't really get a break from the intensity from your second half of this year to going to college, which is naturally just going to be intense. But I think it also begs the question, like, is that the right path for you? Like, we talk a lot about what the first year of college feels like or might look like. And I like to give him examples about my life. And I'm like, yeah, I lost my crap the first year because suddenly you're a big fish in a small pond. Or I'm sorry, you were a big fish in a small pond before, but now you're a small fish in a big pond. And that pond is full of big sharks and stuff. And you're trying to figure out where you rank up. And you're no longer, or you may no longer, I'm not saying he wouldn't be, but you may no longer be at the top 10% of your class because everybody in that class is smart. Right. Whereas you don't really have that control over your environment that way. Whereas at college, they make it that way. They want it to be very competitive, the school base. So we talk a lot about like what that looks like from a perspective of what your first year will look like. Like it will be stressful and it will be some days that you're like questioning why'd you do this? But I think it's important to be realistic about their expectations because if you can't handle high school, then what do you think this college is going to feel like? Because sometimes I think people think it's like totally different.
No.
I still had to take a lot of classes that I didn't want to take They were harder in some cases. They required you to take much more of an active role. They required you to be much more responsible. So if you were somebody where your mama was helping you make sure you kept up with your deadlines, that's not what you have while you're in college. It's like, oh, my teacher said this is due next week.
That was my problem. I
That
had
was it.
no
No structure.
accountability,
Right.
no accountability partner. As
Okay.
in my teachers being my accountability partner. Hey, so this was due yesterday. What you doing? What happened? You'd be like, well, you know what? Right. So let's like, yeah, so we're gonna get that done today. You're gonna stay here at lunch, right?
Oh, right, but you no longer have that. That's right.
In college, you don't have that. Their teachers be like, you pass or you fail, I'm still getting paid, regardless if you pass or you fail at this class.
Right.
And then, and what I was gonna touch on too was when you said that you were making, I remember you were like, I make their schedules. Unfortunately, I don't have the luxury to make a schedule because if I did, I think I would be able to, okay, you can do this. We're gonna put that here.
Really?
Yeah. They are the ones who make their schedule. But what I remember going back to like when I would make my schedule, I was able to go, well, if I actually finish all my Englishes and I still gotta take English, well, what other Englishes y'all got? Because it needs to be more engaging. He is like, they don't explain that stuff to him because if he knows that he can actually, like last year, he got put into a class that had poetry. He discovered he liked poetry. Like, he
Really?
was all about it. And I was like, he was like, oh, this is great. English is amazing. And then now you're back to regular English. And it's like, they're not, I think they don't explain. They just think. And this is where it's also frustrating for me because you just think because of how he looks, he's the normal teenager. He's just doing whatever. And you're just like, no, you may have to, if you give him too many options and he don't understand what's happening, he'll
It
just
could
look
be
at you
overwhelmed.
like,
Yeah.
what? Okay, sure. I don't know. Maybe? Like, and then
Right.
they just make the classes however, just like, but even the point that they call me a week before to
That's
tell me
crazy.
that he has these 3-4 classes that are due next week is ridiculous. And then even
It
have the
is.
teacher tell me, well, if he really works hard, he can do it. And you're like,
I mean, maybe, but
maybe,
knowing your
yes.
kid, that's a little unrealistic.
To tell me that because then also too, oh, this is the other thing. The login doesn't work. We've both tried. The login does not work. And I emailed somebody and they have not responded.
Oof.
But anyway, this is unfortunately New York. So each state is different. So I like the fact because I would have probably threw in a different type of science for him to shake it up a little bit. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Um,
So let me clarify that a little bit. Because when I say make their schedules, I mean they give us, we approve their schedules. So when I say make their schedules, okay, I just want to make sure that was clear that I don't get a menu of classes that he gets to take. I just know according to like the pre-college like recommendations that we had in Georgia, you needed 4 years of like English, 4 years of math, you know what I mean, like 3.5 years of science, 2 years of language. Like they had different like guidelines is the word I want to say. And so by that's what I meant by picking out his classes like that. But no, they do give you like for math, like it'll say like, for instance, with the girl child, they were like math 3, math 4, like, which technically, according to what they gave her, she should be in calculus next year. And I was like, absolutely not. I was like, so I was able to like, the teachers make the recommendation and I was able to look at it or add a note and be like, no, or reach out to counselor and be like, I don't think so. This is not to say we haven't gotten schedules that were still wrong, right? Because there's definitely times where for whatever reason they don't have enough class size and so they move you here and there, which is how she ended up in like some of these engineering courses, which she's really good at. Like her first year in drama, we didn't put her in it. They put her in it and that girl has taken off. That's her thing. Her improv is everything. But so I think there should be some levity, but I just wanted to be clear about what I said when I actually pick their classes that I don't actually get to because we're not allowed, but we do get the opportunity to sign off on the classes that is recommended for the following year.
We don't because if we
so you don't? Okay.
No, because even like there was one class, just like how you said in the beginning, they do switch schedules a lot. until pretty much probably by October, November, they get their final schedule, and this is what it is. And sometimes that is frustrating when you are in a class and you're really like, especially for him, he got put in smaller classes later on in the day, and he was thriving. And then all of a sudden, randomly, they switched his schedule again, and then he got put
Yeah.
back to what his original schedule was, and he was like, "They make too much noise. I do not understand what's happening."
Yeah. My girl child hates
Da-da-da-da-da.
that too.
And
Yeah.
it threw him off, and even the teachers are like, "I think he has the stuff, but I don't know because they switched the periods." And I've had multiple teachers tell me that, and I was like, and the guy was like, "Oh, we can't do nothing about it." But I wish I could also sign off on his schedule, because I'm like, okay, I hear y'all, but is it possible, if we already did this, is it possible for this? Because even when I talked to him earlier, I would tell them, they was like, well, he needs this, 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 this. Okay, so how can we do this? Because I'm willing for him to go to summer school. I'm willing for X, Y, and Z, or if we could do it at home, cool. But I also don't want to push him to the point where he shuts down.
That's right.
Because
that's tough.
There's
Yeah.
nothing you can
Yeah.
do.
My daughter's like that. Well, if you push her too hard, you got to figure out the right balance to be effective and to also kind of help them. Like, I think what we're talking about is kind of that pressure, right? Like, it's how do you help them manage this pressure in a system that is not built by us, right? It's not built by the parent. It's maybe not built by people who understand that there's different neural.
There isn't. That's the problem. It's
Yeah.
not. It's created for one, the vision of what they think is normalcy, and where everybody's supposed to be on, and is not created in the way of each child learns different, or trying to, at least if everyone has to learn the common information. And we know so much about neurodivergence, and knowing that everyone has a different teaching style. Just like, remember we talked about coming back from the pandemic, everything was on the computer. Everybody
It still is, which is complicated. Yeah.
Everybody don't learn that way, or that's when you get them to go, well, I don't care what you're talking about. Let me go ahead and get on YouTube real quick, or let me go over here and play the game. And then you're like, they're not paying attention. Well, because you have a child that, if you give them access to do whatever they want, versus how we grew up, no. Like, we would get in trouble for doodling, but at least we still was writing on a piece of paper, or we was still having the engagement. That's the word, the engagement between the teacher and the student.
Like, in the same room. Like, they're watching you, they're looking at you, you looking at them. Like, maybe they say something, maybe they don't, but like, there's the opportunity for that quick, like that visual like cue to be like, get back on task, where you definitely don't have that on a computer.
Yeah, versus going, okay, everybody, I need y'all to go in Google Classroom, and I need y'all to sit here, and I put an assignment up there, I need y'all to do that assignment, and then walk around while you're not doing the assignment.
Or they'd be at their computers working, grading, because ain't nobody got time for nothing. Like, I respect teachers. It's hard. It's a hard job. But I also think, like, we just don't equip them or the kids to succeed necessarily in the best manner, which is a problem.
Yeah, and I'm going to also say, yes, I appreciate the teachers, but truthfully, over the years, we have definitely seen how the teacher appreciation has gone down, diminished a lot. And the only time they seemed like people appreciated them was during the pandemic, when everyone had to now start teaching their kids.
Oh yeah, because we all became teachers, and I tell you, that's not a gift I have.
Which I realize that is a gift. I enjoy writing on the whiteboard and teaching them like, I used to love learning what they were learning, so that I could try to explain it. But now it's like, what? Like, my daughter had some math and something about comparable numbers, and she had a roundup and didn't round up, but you had to estimate. But then they gave her
yeah, what is this? That is not how we learned it. Okay.
One of it was like, it was 165 divided by 4, but estimate.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
I looked at her and I was like, were you not paying in class? You weren't paying attention? She goes, I was. So, do you not understand? I do. So then why?
I don't.
I don't know what you're talking about.
This is how YouTube and Khan Academy became my friend, because I was like, I don't know.
I love Khan Academy, but it's
I was like, who does this? I was like, we never did it that way.
Actually, that before just to defer from it, but it's still about the same topic. With my oldest, before everyone had to be on the computer, that was the easiest way for me to get him to be engaged was the computer by putting Cayenne Academy on there for him because he wasn't constantly on there. We have something what's called up here iReady. He loved being on iReady because
I think we have it too.
it was a special time to be on the computer because it wasn't work. Now the fact that everything's on the computer is just like people, I'd rather do something else. This is no fun no more. Him trying to do
Oh,
Cayenne
yes,
Academy
ma'am.
now, him trying to do Cayenne Academy now is like
Con.
con. It's like, what? I really have to watch this? Why? Meanwhile, that was especially when he was in the charter school and how advanced the charter school was, that's why I put him in there because I was like, I need you. Yeah. If you are teaching them a grade ahead, go ahead.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like they were in first grade, he was getting taught almost third grade stuff.
Oh, my.
So some concept for him, it was like, I didn't understand, but put Cayenne Academy on. Oh, because it was the visual.
Khan Academy.
Khan Academy, sorry. It was the
It's
visual.
okay.
It was a visual. It was them explaining it, him going, okay, and him getting the manipulation he was doing, he was understanding it. And then once it just becomes oversaturated of constantly being on the computer, that is the word, that connection disappears. Where
It does.
where it's no longer
Special. Yeah.
Yes.
It just becomes the norm. And therefore you're just, and like you said, you can be overwhelmed because you're constantly on it. So now what becomes like unique is that one-on-one connection when the teacher like sits there and like works through it with you and stuff. And so I had to get really good at like looking for opportunities. Like the school here does like what they call remedial kind of stuff, but it's not really remedial. It's just giving you extra help, which I guess ultimately is that in a way. But it's
like
on grade level.
Like
yeah. So
room?
it's, yeah, they call it pack time where they kind of sit there and they like, you pick that time to go to your teachers and learn things that you may have had an issue with. So it's built-in tutoring, I feel like, which is great. And then they also have the Saturday Academy, which they do like throughout the whole year, but also particularly around finals and like I don't know if it's midterms too, but I know it's like they do it around like testing times, and they pull and like you just go up there. You don't have to like sign in or anything. You go up there and you just get extra help. Like you're like, I have no clue what's happening here, and I need help before my final. Can you spend some time with me?
I think also too what they need to normalize and what they don't normalize, what they normalize with us was it was okay to ask for help.
Oh yes, I still do. By the way,
I know I do too. But I'm saying it was okay, and I feel like the kids this generation is like, oh, you need help, and I think that's like a stigma. Like, oh, well, I think for him because he does not like people helping him because it makes him feel like you are pressuring him, judging him, and internalizing makes it feel like you think I'm stupid that I don't get it. Versus if I'm trying to help him, he knows where I'm coming from, but I'm also mom.
Right, so that's different.
It's different. But me trying to get him to, hey, they're trying to help you, so go. If he has the option not to go, like they're not going, and they don't. And especially in high school, he used to run from that speech teacher. He used to hide.
Hide.
Because they would call me to the point where it finally got taken off his IEP because it was like, he's not coming. If he wants to come on his own, cool. We will still help him. But he's not coming. And he would like, because they're trying to micromanage me. Or they're like, he'll like say certain things and it would just be like, they're there to help. And in his brain, speech is language. And he's like, I can speak. He doesn't connect that it's
comprehension too.
Comprehension and also me writing and getting better in all my subjects. Maybe anybody who has neurodivergent children, please in the comments give me some pointers. I'm still learning this in a new era of teenager to adulthood. So please help me if you have tricks that you get them to trick them into learning. That's great. because I feel like I ran out of options right now. I don't
I'm
know.
sure there's some options, but I get it. I definitely get it. I think all of us could use some help in that area. And so we'll definitely be looking for some experts to come hang out on our show and give us some of those pointers and tips, because regardless of whether we're dealing with seniors or juniors or kids who are in grade school or middle school, this pressure can just really feel overwhelming and like it's too much. And speaking of pressure,
Let's go.
I think we want to move on to our next topic today, which is a little bit different, but still it's still pressure, right? So a new year,
I guess.
I mean, I don't know. With a new year, you get the opportunity to look back at like what worked for you last year and what didn't. And then you have the opportunity to kind of evaluate. And most people do that in, January, where they set up resolutions. And so I want to talk a little bit about that process of setting up resolutions, why you do it, why you don't, and just some tips for people out there who might be looking at ways to make things better for themselves. So do you do New Year's resolutions?
No.
No?
I do not.
Yeah, me neither.
I have found when I do resolutions, I don't stick to them. It doesn't. I trail off like everybody else do. It's just a trend that go, yeah, and we all do it good for a month, and then it goes. So this time, even with us talking and me talking to my partner, and just understanding that if I really want change, I can't just keep talking about it, like, and making small efforts. I have to make things. So this year, I made goals, and you made goals, and I think the last couple of days I've really been on it. Like, so we need to be doing this, because it has opened my mind to a different wavelength. That makes sense.
Yes.
And practicing gratitude and appreciation, but in its truest form, and not just saying I'm grateful, I'm thankful, like actually truly meaning it. And yeah, I mean I think that's where I'm at. What about
Yeah.
you? Do you do New Year's
resolution?
Resolution?
Absolutely not. So you can forget that word. Absolutely not. And for the exact reason that you just mentioned, right? Like, resolutions, I feel like, are opportunities to fail. Like, I want to do this, but like, what am I going to do to get there? I always am very goal orientated, and when I talk to people about this, like even my kids, I'm like, you can't just want something. You have to put steps in place to get it. And that's how you become successful. Like, you put steps in place instead of saying like, I want to make $1 million. Like, ask yourself how. Ask yourself those steps you could take to do it, and look for ways to like reward yourself along the way. Like, I got, $25,000. Woohoo! Like, I'm happy for you. You're happy for you. But how do you reach that? And if 25 is too high, how do you start with like $100 and move up? So yeah, resolutions to me just aren't super sustainable. I had a mentor a while ago who told me she picked like a word of the year that she wanted to
Ooh, that's a good one.
She wanted to model, and she would learn the word, she'd look for a scripture that helped reinforce the word, and then she would like write it somewhere that she could see it. And I've heard someone else tell me that too. Like, they wrote a word down, and that was their word, and they make sure they look at it every day. So that became my practice like a couple years ago. And the word for this year is consistency. Because I think that is what I struggle with in certain areas. Like, I feel like I have so many ideas that sometimes I can like get bored of one and just move on to a different thing. Instead of just following the step process that I mentioned. Like, I can make anything happen. Like, y'all, you've seen it happen. Like, I can make anything happen. But am I going to want to stick with it? What's the next step to it? Like, how do I get myself like all the way there? Like this book I've been trying to finish. Like, how do I get it there? I got to do something to get these things finished. And so I feel like you have to build a sustainable system. You have to build a workflow or some kind of process that allows you to have a goal and these steps to get there. So that's my biggest tip for that kind of thing. So like I said, my goal is consistency in all things in life. So the things that I want to be consistent in working out, I want to be consistent in eating right, I want to be consistent in how I approach, my days and from a wellness perspective, and making sure I meditate in the morning, making sure that I look at my day and plan it accordingly and can get excited about that instead of feeling like, oh, here it is. It's another day. And I ain't gonna lie, I haven't been totally successful in this as yet, but baby steps, you know what I'm saying? Baby steps, we're getting there. And I'm excited about what that looks like because I feel like I can be consistent for a period of time and then I get bored and I just move on.
I think that's both of us.
Like, yeah.
I think that's both of us. And I'm not sure if that's a genetic thing or a thing.
It could be.
Because that's definitely both of us. Because, I'm going to adopt that word too. Consistency. And I'm going to write, because this is another thing. I watched what's called The Secret.
Yes, I've seen it and read it.
And if I can listen to that every day, I think that's going to be my goal, just to listen to it every day. Just listen to what they talk about every day, because listening to it, it gives me such a surge of power that I did not realize or didn't realize I had. And it gets me to the point where it's like, well, where was I that I never knew about this stuff? And of course,
I think we talked, it was years ago. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure we talked about this 10 years ago.
But that was 10 years ago. There was a lot of happening 10 years ago.
You're right.
So, but also too, 10 years ago, I will also say that's when I was the most consistent working out, because I lost 70 pounds.
You did? Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, I did have other issues happening at that time too, but I stayed consistent and determined on those two things. And I had went back to school and was very successful that semester. So much so that I only failed the class because I failed the final and I didn't have another attempt to take the test. And I failed the final, not like I tanked the final, but I still failed it to the point was like, nah, hold on. I was getting B's up in it. What is this? And it was too late. And I wasn't aware that if I failed the final,
you would fail the class.
Automatically fail the class.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All the other work that I was doing. And of course, if I really knew and really asked questions, I would have nah, we're going to redo this because I ain't taking this class again. Okay? I love y'all, but I'm not taking this class again.
Yeah.
I had B's and A's in those classes. And I took 4 classes.
Yeah.
And had a newborn. And had a toddler. And had he was 8. So, nah, I was healing.
Yeah, I remember you were doing things.
And then,
you got tired of being
no,
consistent?
It wasn't even that. It was, you know what it is? Because sometimes when someone sees you doing really good without them, they come back.
Oh, geez.
And try to mess you up because they're like, well, now you're everything I want. What happened? And then they come back and bring their drama with them.
Ain't that the truth?
And then what happens? You are bettering yourself, and they're like, I
can't have that.
But I can't have that. Not without me. The nerve. Right. How could you do such a thing?
The nerve.
And then I got pregnant. And then
yeah, I get it. No, I think you just I want to clock that statement. When people see you doing good, they want to come back in. And I think what I've learned to do is to be my own gatekeeper. Like, you can't be here if you're not bringing, I require everyone around me to bring the same kind of hustle and energy in one way or another. Because that's what it takes to get around me. Like, I ain't just gonna let you sit here and drag me down into an epiphany of crazy. Like, I can be there for you, but I'm not going to your crazy level. And I think all of us need to have an opportunity to just look at your inner circle. Like, if you don't like the way your life is going,
look at that circle.
Look at that circle. Like, what are you cultivating around you? What is your environment looking like? And like one of the things that I wanted to do last year, and I remember saying, is like, I need more people who are like hustlers around me. And look what we ended up with. Like that whole our culture clash network of hustlers, and everybody ready to get in here and get the work done. But I think a lot of that, again, I think that is understanding what you want and being like self aware, and then also recognizing that you need to make a change and then trying to make that change. And a part of that, I do think there's a part of manifestation in there. I definitely think there's a part of like evaluation of yourself and again your surroundings. And like sometimes it's hard for a flower to grow when it's surrounded by weeds, right? Or in concrete, but it can still do it, but it's harder to do it. And so I just think it's an opportunity for all of us to grow in a really smart and capable way. So that is my advice for anyone out there as you're looking to go into your 2026 and you're like, I want to be these things, because we have a whole vision board for Main Event Mamas.
And we have our own vision board for ourselves.
That's right, because y'all should see mine. I got plans and I can't wait.
Unfortunately, I did not write in my journal, but I will be doing that after this because, I only have 4 hours of sleep and I was not feeling very goalish at the time.
Yeah.
Wasn't feeling, I stayed as positive as I can. And then I finally told them, y'all need to go. Mom needs to go sleep. I gotta go sleep now. God, I need y'all.
Night. No, I support it because I need sleep.
I agree with that statement, as in having the correct people around you. Because if you don't have the correct people around you, or it's easier for them to also cloud the noise that you already have inside your head. I know for me. So even like, I'm going to credit you. I'm going to credit our baby sister, Kevlin. I'm going to credit.
We hustlers, and we're going to make you a hustler whether you're ready or not. We're going to all hustle together.
And I'm going to credit my man, because sometimes I don't know. Well, why? Because I'll be just a little too much. He'd be too much, shoot, but that's not the point.
I was going to say, hold that thought.
I just said, but this is also to me doing self-reflection, and also like to therapy. Actually stop buffering the things and actually trying to get to the root of the issue, because I can't keep saying I want to be better. I'm achieving to be better. And I'm still not trying to get to the root of it. And like I said too, watching The Secret has opened my, I was like, well, yeah, no, I don't want to be my trauma no more. That needs to go.
I love The Secret. It was very inspirational.
This can't be me, because I aspire to be so much more. And hence, when it comes to the goals, the goals, I'm like, and the consistency, because we both had goals. Our books were supposed to be done by the end of this year.
They were. Yeah. They were supposed to be done last year. Yeah. And before the end of last year, it was supposed to be done way before that, because we started the year before.
Yeah. It was supposed to be way before then. And just trying to stick to it, because I do have a problem sticking to it, because then, yes, my brain will go over here. Oh, look, there's a rainbow.
I know. Squirrel.
Oh, I want to do that instead. And you'd be like, even with you, I know, I'd be like, so can we do that? You'd be like, okay, slow down. Can we?
Yeah, I was like, we can do a lot of things, but let's stop and get the steps in place.
This right now. And I'm like,
yes.
But we need to stick. Okay, cool.
Yes, we can do all the things, but we have to start and ground in a foundation. And so with that, I think like, just want to wrap that up by saying like, one of the main things I think starts my end of year kind of review and my next year vision is gratitude, right? So yes, it's gratitude. It's just being grateful first that I made it, because not everybody did, and that everyone around me made it, and that we're here and we love each other, and no one's beefing to a degree where we need to figure that out. That we accept each other as we are, that we have this level of compassion and love for each other around us, and to just kind of share that with the world, and that we get the opportunity to bring that joy and that love and that warmth to you guys watching also. To know that, this is your sister chat too. You're welcome to come and join us in any way you feel that you want to. Join our comments. We always answer. Hit us up on TikTok. I have lots of arguments and fun with our TikTok community, on Instagram, on Facebook. We're there. Feel free to hit us up on our live streams, because if you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say. If you know, you know. So I suggest you join to find out what you need to know.
We're very interactive on our live streams.
It's very fun. We try to bring all of that. And so with that, I just want to say, it was a great episode back. we had some deep conversations about adulting and about parenting and talking about like this college experience that we're still going through. Like, I was just checking my text message because he's like, technically the deadline still applies. Then get it in because I ain't got time.
Saying technically the deadline still applies. Sir, hurry up. Find somebody. What is wrong?
I was like, help me, God.
Nephew, get your life together. What is happening?
I don't know. I'm over here. Like, I need prayer.
I know you don't want to go, but you gotta go. Like, sir.
I mean, we're not going to be far. That's what I keep telling myself. We're going to be like 20 minutes away probably, which is crazy because I was like states away from my parents. So, like, good luck with that. I was like, we might have to move cities or something because we're too close.
Like,
but no, I'm kidding.
Anytime you feel like it, okay?
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not kidding. Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm like, wait, I'm not kidding. I don't want you just coming home for dinner. Like,
Come
no, sir.
For Thanksgiving and Christmas break. Thanks.
But I'm gonna miss him. Anyway.
We'll get there. We'll get there. We have many more episodes before you graduate. So we'll get there.
You're right.
Oh no, don't start.
And one of them will probably indefinitely be me crying. But I do want to say we have some great surprises in store for you guys. But it's time to wrap up. So we want to talk about where you can find us, Tanesha.
So if you want to listen to us, other than see us, you can listen to us on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Audible, Amazon Music, Pocket Podcasts, Spotify,
yep. Mm-hmm.
YouTube Music, YouTube.
That's right. That's right. And anywhere else podcasts are heard. And you can also follow us on all the channels that I mentioned a few minutes ago. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, X, on pretty much everywhere. You can also visit us on our website, madeeventmamaspodcast.com, where you can catch all of our videos in case you're not subscribed to be able to be in the know, which I know you wouldn't. I mean, if you're here, then you're absolutely subscribed to all of these things because you know where we are. But if you just want to catch up on our episodes, like if you want to find out what Aftermath is about, it's definitely on our website. That's our true crime podcast. If you want to find out where our live streams are hidden, they're in an archive on our podcast. They're also on YouTube. And you can follow us individually.
Yes.
I am Kiara Mama Pod at Facebook and Instagram. No underscore. And I am Content Vixen on X.
And I am Tanesha. I'm Tanesha underscore Mama Pod. Sorry, I was like, wait, why you said no underscore? Because I'm the underscore. Tanesha underscore Mama Pod on TikTok and on Instagram. And I'm very interactive on Instagram. So hit that up.
Yeah, and on Threads. I didn't mention Threads, but if you want to mix it up with me, that's probably the fastest way to do that because I'm always there. And with that, we want to say,
we're not new to this.
We're so true to this.
This was Main Event Mamas.
Whoop, whoop. See you next time.
Main Event Mamas bringing the heat. Talking life, love, and the wrestling beat.